So we're going to go over an email I received on the KopTalk podcast from someone called Ryan. And the subject, the title of the email is Sexism on Most Recent Show. Hi, Dunk. I was looking for a podcast to listen to whilst I was doing some printing at work. I've been a Liverpool fan all of nearly 32 years. This is the first time I have listened. I suspect it will be the last. I was enjoying it. During your recent show, you were referring to Barcelona defender Araujo, I believe. I could be wrong, but that's not the point. And you were saying, sorry if I've not pronounced that correctly, right? Which you know that happened, don't you guys? You know what I'm like. Unless it's Jack Daniels or John Smith, I can't pronounce names, you know what I mean? Anyway, and how you rarely listen to games, right? What I said was, I can't remember word for word what I said, but I will have said something along the lines of, to be honest with you, I don't pay much attention to the commentary on the games because, I tend to find myself on my mobile phone watching social media, messaging, in the KopTalk group or wherever, so, like what Liverpool fans are thinking when we're watching a game. And I don't really like listening to the commentary too much, to be honest. It can get right on my nerves. It depends who it is. Then you state, especially if there's a woman commentating, by making this comment, for those of us who respect women, you are putting listeners like me off. I was going to subscribe. Well, I'm glad I'm putting people like you off, and you can stick your subscription up your ass. And how dare you suggest for 1 minute that I don't respect women, right? I do not like female commentators. I don't really have a problem with the females in the studio. The reason why I don't like the female commentators usually is because they tend to have a higher pitched voice than a man, all right? So when they get a little bit excited, it sounds like someone's fucking telling me off or arguing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah? Now, my mum, God bless her, she died in 2012. And before she died, when this, this sort of thing happened where you had, a woman on TV ranting and raving and screaming, my mum used to say, fuck, what's she doing on there? What's she fucking doing? I can't be doing listening to her yappy voice. That was my own mother saying that, right? And she was a Liverpool fan. She's not around today, God bless her, right? So maybe her opinion is not relevant today. So today, I can think about my auntie, my mum's sister, that I spoke to about this very subject about 2 weeks ago. And she said the same thing, right? And she's from a football-mad family. Her husband, my uncle, right? Massive football fan. Her son, massive football fan. 2 daughters, massive football fans. Grandkids, football fans, and play football. My uncle Andy, he used to play football. He's an older man now. He doesn't play football anymore. Her son plays football. Grandchildren play football. She's football mad like the rest of us, right? But even she will turn around and say, do you know what? I can't be listening to her, right? Okay. My mum and my auntie don't speak for everyone, right? Okay, but I'm just making that clear. This is people that are like, I can't be listening to that, okay? Now, what you didn't mention in this email, and I'm sure I would have mentioned it at the time in my podcast, because I always do, is that there are also some male commentators that I do not like. Jonathan Pearce, for example. Again, whiny-ass fucking voice. It's to do with that. I don't have a problem with women in the game, right? And to suggest I disrespect women, I don't respect women, should I say. You said for those of you who respect women, that's really fucking rattled my cage. I was at a Spanish lesson yesterday with a good friend of mine when that email came in, and I wanted to leave the lesson there and then to respond to you. It's one of the most insulting things that anyone could ever say to me, right? I don't like anyone that disrespects women. Now, what define disrespect? I don't like bullies or anything like that, right? My daughter, when she was 5-6 years old, I encouraged her to play football. I took her to a soccer academy in the school holidays. Back then, which would have been around 1999 or something, 98, 99, there wasn't really girls playing football. She was the first and only girl in the entire group of about 30 boys. But I wanted my girl to play football. She went to the football games with me just like my mum did, right? Women, I have a great deal of respect for women. I really do. But there's a difference between banter when we crack a joke about get it kitchen, put kettle on, right? It's a fucking joke, just like they joke with us, all right? That comment there about for those of us who respect women, literally, if I'd have seen you last night, mate, right, I'd have fucking gone mental with you. I don't mean physically or anything like that, because I'm passive as fuck. But I'd have shot you down so hard. I don't want people like you watching my content or listening to my fucking content. Football can be played by... Oh, hang on a minute, stop. The worst thing you probably do not remember or didn't even realise you said it. Of course I remember it. I say it all the time. All the time. In every podcast episode and every video when it comes up. Because it's my true opinion. You say football can be played by anyone. That's the beauty of the game. Anyone can have an opinion. Well, I've got an opinion. Right? Women's football. I don't like women's football. I don't like it. Just like I don't like youth football or international football, which is played by men. I don't like it. I'll watch the World Cup, finals, I'll watch the Euros, but I don't watch it. It's my choice. It's fuck all to do with... Oh, it's women are playing a sport. I'm not going to watch that. It's fucking disgusting. What are you talking about, you numpty? I remember watching the World Cup coverage in Qatar, and Qatar was kicking off about any players wearing the rainbow armband, as this was against their culture. Our captain bottled it, so did many. Then I see Alex Scott live on air as a pundit presenter wearing it, while she was out there facing those sick enough to prejudice on homosexuality in respect to Alex. Many people think she's a hypocrite for going out there and taking the money. I actually like Alex Scott, personally. I think when she speaks, I listen to her. There's some right bumbling idiots, but she's all right. Okay? The rise of the lionesses warms my soul. You probably didn't watch this is his English, not mine. You probably didn't watch any of recent success. Probably because you think women's football, you said women's football, by the way, but it's actually women's football, is rubbish. Like a lot of men. I guess he means like a lot of men do. Yeah, I think it's shite. I have no interest in it whatsoever. But you know what? I remember recording videos on here maybe 13 years ago, maybe longer, saying that women's football was going to be massive. And I remember speaking to young supporters saying, don't be writing blogs about football today, men's football. Get into women's football. It's going to be huge. And fair play to them. If they want to play football, fair play to them. I don't give a fuck. I just don't want to watch it. Right? Oh, I'm so angry. Right? And one of the reasons why I don't like women's football, right, is because football for me is about the atmosphere and the history and everything, and especially the noise in a stadium. And we've gone over this before. So men's football during COVID, when we had nobody in the stadiums, was shite. I couldn't watch that ever. For me, football is the atmosphere. If I watch Liverpool men's play football, right, and there is no atmosphere in the stadium, it's shite. I can't stand it. I like it when players go in for crunching tackles and everyone's out of the seats and going mental. I like it when you play a team and you go, and you haven't played them for 10 years, maybe you go, do you remember last time we played and we got fucking robbed? The history. You haven't got that in women's football yet. You will do one day. But if you want to watch women's football, fair play to you. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't like it. Why do people get lumped into being sexist if they don't fucking like something? What the fuck is wrong with you? It's people like you that divide society, especially when it comes to like sensitive subjects to do with fucking politics and shit like that. You can't say now. If someone in England says we're sick of all these people coming over on these dinghies to England, which putting a strain on the health service and the schools and everything, they're deemed racist. They're not allowed to have an opinion. They can't say that and go, well, I feel sorry for them. I just don't think it's good. Because people like you create this divide between ordinary people. And then you make people angry. Because you're spouting shite. It's absolute nonsense, mate. Nonsense. And women's football is shit. And if you want to watch it, good. No problem. But I think it's shite. I don't want to watch women's football. I ain't got time to fucking watch men's football. I mean, I ain't got much interest in that, to be honest with you. I don't want to watch youth football for the same reasons I don't want to watch women's football, because I like to watch stuff that's got the noise and the atmosphere and everything. Who wants to watch England play? Men's football, same shit. Them silly bastards. Boom, 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 boom. With a fucking band and all that. Can't be doing with it. You do not represent all Liverpool fans by making this comment. We are not a sexist football club. You don't represent Liverpool fans either. You don't know what you're fucking talking about, Ryan. And then you sign it off YNWA. You'll never walk alone. But you'll never walk alone, but you will today because I've got a different opinion to you. You've got to knock it off. You can't go around like this. Listen, Joey Barton, right, has been very vocal recently, saying many things that I agree with to do with women, right, and other things to do with the game, to do with virtue signalling, right, people in the studio. Are they there on merit or because they tick a box, right? And for me, I think you should be there on merit. So Alex Scott, for example, I would say she's there on merit. I think she's a good pundit, right? But when it comes round to, say, Liverpool versus Everton, Man City versus Man United, Arsenal, Tottenham, you know, these big crunch derby games, even going up north, you know, Rangers, Celtic. I want to listen to someone that played in those high-intensity games in the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever. A woman can't do that. And she can't compare, oh, yeah, we played, you know, the girls, you know, in that derby, you know, last week, and, you know, there's 200 people there, 2,000 people. No, you just can't. There's just no comparison. That's not being disrespectful. That's just being factual. Joey Barton, so I'm listening to Joey Barton recently, and I think, yeah, at least he's got the balls to say it, because many people fucking agree with him, right? But then, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, or the day before yesterday, he put a tweet out, or a post, whatever the fuck it's called now, saying, put the balls on TV, they've even got them on there, and then an emoji like a puking or something. I don't know if it was that emoji, I think it was. But in other words, he was even moaning about women on the balls. There's a joke in there somewhere, right? Now, I've watched bowls before and I think it's fucking great. But bowls is not a high-intensity, exciting thing. You know, you're not going to watch the bowls and someone get ready to and roll the ball and go, hey, it's going, it's going. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to happen. So someone's just going to go, and this, yeah, it looks like it's going to just swerve around there now. It's a calm game. Why the fuck would you complain about a woman commentating on that? Because it's just chilled, you know what I mean? And men and women have always been associated with that sport, right? Now, I don't want to hear a woman cackling on the TV when I'm watching someone shoot a goal. It's not to do with the woman. It's the noise. It's how it sounds like to me. And if you're completely honest, go back further in time, 90s, even before then, 80s, 70s, the old school commentators, the men were very, very deep. Remember the guy reading the football pools out? Do you know what I'm saying? It's what we grew up with. It's what we got used to. Now, in any walk of life, right, away from sport, solicitors, painters and decorators, supermarket staff or anything, a man and a woman doing the same job should be paid the same salary. They should be treated the same. However, a man or a woman might deserve a little bit more of a salary than somebody else of the opposite sex if they're more experienced, for example. That's life, yeah? But when it comes to women's football, you can't say, well, the women should be paid the same as the men because they haven't got the global audience or the interest in the game. So when I hear that spouted, I think, well, that's a load of shite. But then people like you soft cunt, are going to come out and say you're being sexist. How dare you say that to people? Us that respect women. I respect women. I was brought up by my mum, a single parent. She had 4 fucking jobs just to bring me up. No brothers or sisters, just me and my mum. My real dad was absent. He wasn't a dad to me. And then you telling me, or implying that I don't respect women, when I saw what she went through to bring me up. And other women in my family, like my nana. And you're telling me that I don't respect women just because I say I can't be doing listening to her, she's doing me head in. Have a fucking word with yourself, Ryan. I'm telling you, it's people like you causing a divide in the country because you rattle on about shit that's not even there without taking into context what somebody's saying. I will always banter with the girls. What would you know about it? Get yourself in there, make me a cheese toast, silly. Go, get in there, go on, get kettle on. Right? But you know what? The girls banter back. And the ones that don't, we don't want them in our life or society anyway because they can't take a fucking joke like you, Ryan. We banter, all of us. There are so many different people watch my videos and listen to my podcasts, right? Male, female, black, white, British, American, straight, gay, whatever. Religious, atheist. I couldn't give a flying fuck what anybody is. All I care about is whether you're a good egg, if you're a good person. That's all I'm bothered about. And if everyone was like that, the world would be a much nicer place, mate, I can assure you. And instead of slamming people like you're doing there, why not? Even if I believed that I don't want women on there, I just don't think you should be there, right? Which isn't what I think. But if I was going all Joey Barton on you, you could at least turn around and say, well, you know, we support the same club. We've got differences of opinions. You know what I mean, don't? You believe that. I think you're wrong, mate. This is my opinion. I wouldn't respond to you and go, I'm right, you're wrong. No, I'd turn around and say, all right, mate, yeah, we've got differences of opinions. You want a drink? But you're not like that, right, Ryan? You're not like that. You'd rather go around and rattle people's fucking cages all day long, wouldn't you, Ryan? I couldn't give a flying fuck if you ever listen to my podcast. I couldn't give a toss. I don't want people like that. The only people that I will watching my videos, right, or listening to my podcast are people that are good people. And every single one of them people have all got different opinions. Do you think that everyone that listens to my podcast, watching my videos, agree with what I say? Or do you think they go, fucking dunks on, whatever, listening to that shit? There's nothing wrong with that. And I think this response is tame, to be honest with you. And that's why I'm sat down. I was going to, I've got a tripod here, you know what I mean? I was going to, get the old tripod out. There's a joke in there somewhere. Old school people will understand the serious biz content that we used to do with the tripod. But I'd give myself a fucking heart attack. Because people like you get right on my fucking nerves. Right on my nerves. So, Ryan, I hope I've made myself perfectly fucking clear. I really, really do. I was minding my own business last night when you emailed me. And like I say, if you'd have been in my presence, I'd have slaughtered you, verbally. Because saying to a man that he disrespects women, well, to this man is a very, very, very insulting thing to say to me, because I always fucking champion women, man. I'll have a laugh, I'll have a giggle, but I don't like bullies. And I recognise the many things that, women have to go through in life. And, I like when Mother's Day comes around, I'll always do a shout to the mums out there. Stop being a soft cunt, Ryan. Get the fuck out.